I'm Terry Sacka, and this is Rigged Against You. I believe crypto is going to be one of the saviors as we now have stable coins, which have to be backed by an asset. They'll use US dollars and US treasuries. Now they're able to find a place for our treasuries since no one is buying our debt. They're not only not buying, they're selling it. Even our own ally Japan has sold 200 billion in treasuries and bought gold. There's a reason why central banks are continuing to consume as much gold as they can. They're diversifying away from the inevitability of what's coming to the dollar. And mind you, this is part of the plan from President Trump. Lower dollar by probably 30-40%. Lower interest rates is the Mar-a-Lago Accord. It will stimulate the economy, but there's a perfect storm setting up for gold and silver. Why I believe gold's going to probably 10,000, silver probably 200 and above. And the cryptos are the secret weapon. If we can angle certain crypto that are stateside cryptos like XRP, XLM, HBAR, and others, when we get into tokenizing assets, LCX, another one, they're going to tokenize every asset. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink even said he was going to do it, meaning every stock, every bond, gold in the exchanges, commodities, real estate, every one of these transactions will be attached to a crypto token. This puts it on blockchain. It gives it a timestamp of who bought, who sold, what price, what time, and when, and it can never be modified. So it is good for corruption, although I believe down the road in the wrong hands, especially a Democrat presidency, we could take that into total CBDC and become slaves. I know President Biden tried to do that, but for now, we have an unbelievable opportunity in front of us. They will be using some of those cryptos for the tokenization. You're talking hundreds of trillions of dollars in assets worldwide as these certain tokens become money. They just allow it to go on blockchain. So things like the XRP, XLM, HBAR, LCX, they are going to be explosive over the next few years in value as the institutions and the banks and finance start taking large chunks of these out of the market because they're going to use them to tokenize every stock, every bond, every real estate, gold, commodities, you name it. It gets deep, and I'm not going to do it today, but even to the point where we're going to get into fractional tokenization, like the Empire State Building, it could be 10,000 owners to that building. This is a big transformation. This is what I'm referring to as a major fourth turning that is coming to the United States. Now, just take a look at gold itself. I know you're not going to believe this, but look at this chart. This is incredible. Whoop, let me go back to that one. Okay, this is gold. Let me bring it up a little bigger here. Here's the big run we've had in gold, the initial run. Now we take that trend line all the way up. Here we are on the right at around $3,600 an ounce in the circle. That trend line brings gold almost $40,000 an ounce. I know many people think that is absurd, but I had people on the inside tell me gold will be $20,000, $25,000 because it no longer is a negative to the banks. Gold is going to be a positive, especially if we do a gold-backed US 50-year treasury note. We have to compete. BRICS and all these other currencies are using gold to back up the trade settlement currency. If we don't compete with that, why would they want to trust the dollar? Look at what we did with Russia. Look at what we've done with other countries, all because of the dollar. So the dollar has lost its value. It's not backed up by anything. We have more debt now than any country in the history of the world. And you saw at the beginning here how parabolic just interest on our debt is. Don't underestimate how big all of this data is. Now, I don't really think gold probably hits 40,000, But I won't be surprised to see 20,000 on gold. But let's just do 10,000 first. But the point is, if they go to that level because of the fourth turning, because of the tokenization and the digitization of all of our finances, stable coins have to be backed up by an asset. So it'll be commodities, gold, treasuries, currency. They will be using commodities, and gold can easily go, and that puts silver at hundreds of dollars an ounce. I don't care what they say, what it's going to do to the economy. It's not going to impact that much. I know silver is vital for military as well as industrial use, electric vehicles, not just your bathroom mirror anymore. Not the point. It's not going to raise it that much. The Samsung CEO even came out and said when silver is $200 an ounce, it does only this much to the cost of our products. So we are in a major commodity super cycle, and this is going to last for years. So for those people that are sitting in the stock market, you're going to miss out on a tremendous wealth transfer. Now, this is just the gold. Now, take a look at this headline. This is the first time in U.S. history that this has been done. Silver has been added to the U.S. draft list of critical minerals for 2025. Big deal. Now, they go on and talk about the reasons why: technology, solar panels, electronics. But I'm telling you, it's way bigger than that. Saudi Arabia is building the Neom, this major city in the desert. The amount of silver they're going to need. Every nation in the world needs physical silver for the industrial complex. The physical is not there. In the COMEX here in the United States, we probably have 2 weeks of eligible physical silver available. And what's even bigger than that headline of silver being added to critical minerals list for the first time, central banks around the world, for the first time that I've seen in decades, are buying physical silver. Saudi Arabia came in hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars in the SLV. Now, I don't recommend you buy the SLV. It's paper. Individuals like we, the people, we cannot take physical possession, which I think will be absolutely essential. If you do it in a retirement account, it's physical in a depository. If you take it home, it's physical, you own it. Private depositories, you physical, you own it, just like large money managers. But institutions like the central bank in Saudi Arabia buying the SLV, they can demand physical silver. Why is this important? SLV doesn't have it. And I don't know if this is a power play, but as these central banks around the world are starting to buy physical silver, can you imagine what could happen to our exchange? They could break it. Force majeure it. Why owning physical is so vital at this time, because to add critical minerals list, central banks buying it, I haven't seen that in all of my financial history. I'm 57. This is really big news, and you're not hearing it from anybody. And so then it gets into this ratio. I've talked about it before. Now, without getting all crazy on this chart, just look at the red arrow in the middle there. Gold is what you wanted to own over the last 14 years. It's done very well. But we're entering into a turning point. That big green section there on the right. On the left, you see the anomaly. That was 2011. That's when the gold silver ratio dropped to 35. We are entering a phase of the gold silver ratio where we're going to see it absolutely collapse, meaning how many ounces it takes to buy an ounce of silver to buy an ounce of gold. Right now, it's over 87 to 1. Back in 2011, it went to 35. My colleagues in the industry say we will see it at 10 to 1. And I know some people think it's 1 to 1 with gold because of the vital critical nature silver provides for the industrial world, not just military, but everything we do, especially AI and robotics. The fact we're 87 to 1, once that breaks that line, that ratio starts dropping, silver is going to unbelievably outperform gold. Now, as gold keeps marching towards 10,000 and silver gets to 10 to 1, that's $500 silver. So you see, and the thing is, we used to manipulate it. So, I'm going to kind of wrap up with that kind of stuff. We used to manipulate it, right? Everybody knows this. That's why they don't buy it. They wanted you to believe that. They wanted you to think that. They wanted you away from owning physical assets. For those that have been holding silver over all these years, you've gotten the reward. It's up hundreds of % from where it was when we got going on all of this. But it's just getting started because the physical is not there. They don't want you owning it, but it's one of the best assets for a wealth transfer that you can have for your family, at least over the next few years as we're entering into this fourth turning and this new financial system. I know I said the last chart it's just going to be amazing. Look at this. And this just gives you an idea. All I'm saying is if you start this now, you will see the reward of doing it. But this is a bit, let me finish this one first. Let me do this. I'm sorry. This one is the S&P Commodity Index. As I keep saying, we're coming into a commodity super cycle. Look at where we're at on the right side. So basically, the red dots at the top, that's when commodities were exploding. Those were major events. And then, of course, that means the commodities are overbought. And then when the black line is on the bottom, that means commodities are super cheap. Look at on the right side today. Commodities are cheaper than they've ever been in 55 years. Talk about commodity super cycle in front of us. We are going to, as we enter this fourth turning, head to the north. As we do, you will see commodity prices absolutely explode. It's just going to happen. So let me wrap up with this one. This is the big one here. This is the gold silver ratio. But what I wanted to point out is this is just a means. So if you go back decades and decades, if you would have bought silver the first time when the ratio was up over 80, you started with 8,000 ounces of silver. You come over from 1980 all the way to where we're at today, or this one only goes to 2015, mind you. But we're back up again. It came down a little, but went back up. We were at 100. And so I wanted to, this is the best one to point it out. So it doesn't matter on the date because we're at 87. If you would have started back in those days owning silver, you went from 8,000 ounces. And then when it gets down to the bottom, when the ratio is low, you sell silver, buy gold. When it goes back up, you sell gold, buy silver, and so forth. If you would have done this strategy over your lifetime, you would have gone from 8,000 ounces of silver to right now on the right side, 45,000 ounces of silver. Today's value, $2.5 million. And back when it was 8,000 ounces at that time, silver was probably not even $10 an ounce. So that's not even $80,000. So 80,000 to 2.5 million. This is huge. And now that, mind you, that is a 10 years behind, but it's not the point. We are above 80 again. We're at 87. It was 100. That's why you're seeing silver pop, because the ratio is starting to come down. That ratio is coming down. And I do contend probably 10 to 1 before this is over. And look at where gold is. Where do you think silver is going? This is the time to sell gold and own silver. If you knew what was out there for gold and what they have planned, it sounds exciting. I know, especially if they do gold-backed treasuries. They're doing gold back on the Chinese yuan. I get it. But as gold goes up even 500% from here, silver goes up 1,000, 1,500%. Which one would you rather have in your wallet? So for IRAs, retirement accounts, it's not too late. I would definitely be considering diversifying out of IRAs in a decent portion into physical silver. And above all, avoid the big gold companies. They're going to just take you to the cleaners. You don't need it. You need as many ounces as you can. That's what Cornerstone Asset Metals would do. I know this was a little long, but the data is absolutely fantastic. So I hope you enjoy it. Please pass along, share it, and until next time, God bless you.
With all of the recent changes in the political and financial markets, there has never been a better time than right now to invest in silver and gold. When governments simply print billions of dollars in paper money in hopes of solving financial shortfalls, you know that it is time to buy and hold assets of true and lasting value. Free information is available to you right now by calling 888-747-3309. Whether you are a new investor or you're interested in preserving the value of your retirement accounts, we make it easy for you to make smart decisions for your financial future. The specialists at Cornerstone are here to serve you, work to satisfy your retirement goals, and communicate with respect. Call us right now at 888-747-3309. That's 888-747-3309. Or visit us online at cornerstoneassetmetals.com. That's cornerstoneassetmetals.com.